How's it going, everyone? So, here is a little bit of a review for 28 years later. It's a review and probably more so an explanation, and I will get to that. Now, first, before I want to start off this, I want to say that I know that this film is divisive. It has divided a lot of people. Some people absolutely love it, and I am one of those people, and some people absolutely hate it, and I guess I can understand why. But at the end of the day, that is the beauty of film. Cinema is subjective. We're not always going to like the same stuff, and that is more than fine, you know. So what do I want to start off with? Right, I will start off with saying that this was not the film I was. I will even say it's not the film I was hoping for. I went. It's been so long since we got 28 days and even 28 weeks, and it's. I went in there wanting the same thing, wanting the virus mayhem, wanting hordes of zombies and just bloodshed and mayhem, and that's not what we got. What 28 years later is, to me anyway, was a new world, a divided new country ravaged by a virus, and this country, this new world, is seen through the eyes of a child. I can get what people are saying, and I want to go into this a little bit more. Uh, People, like, before I wrote my written review that you can check out on moviehooker.com, I went and I read a lot of negative reviews to see what it was that irked people so much. And a lot of the reviews that I read was that there wasn't enough zombie mayhem in it, or infected mayhem. I'm sorry, folks. Infected mayhem, or there was plots that went absolutely nowhere. My opinion is every single side plot in this movie done its job. This is the first part of a three-part story, and this film was, setting the wheels in motion for the future installments. So, if you do not know, the second one, as far as I am aware, is already made. It's called 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple. And I'm not really giving away any spoilers here, because even in the posters prior to release, we saw the big giant temple of like skulls. We also saw Ralph Fiennes, or Rafe Fiennes, I'm not sure how he pronounces his name. And what I was led to believe was this guy was an absolute maniac. He was like a nomad, a barbarian, and he was covered in blood. And I was completely wrong. So this film is pretty much seen through the eyes of a child who doesn't know about the world that existed before the virus. The community that he is in is a community that have tried to hold on to normality, to their humanity. They've tried to recreate what it was like back in the day, pre-virus times. They have houses, they grow food, they've got livestock for meat, and they don't pretty much venture outside their comfort zone a lot unless it's absolutely necessary. They have regressed so much. This is the cool thing, I think, that they have regressed so much. They are pretty much back in like Robin Hood times. Apart from their clothing, there's nothing. There's no modern technology. There's no modern weaponry. It's pretty much the olden days, Robin Hood esque. And we do see a lot of little snippets of like olden day clips of people with bow and arrows. And that's what this community, but only this community, that is all that they are. This community is trying to recreate the life that they once had, having the normality, having the humanity, but that's just them. We do know that there's other pockets of survivors all around the country that have learned who go about their own way in dealing with the rage virus. So, what else do I want to talk about? Yes, people were saying that the side plots, these this was an introduction to characters. This little kid, this is a minor spoiler here, so if you haven't seen the movie, maybe fast forward a minute or so. This the story of the young kid Spike, I think it's Spike, um, and his mother. He had absolutely no option. That kid was brought up in a world. His whole world was behind that gate, and his world was built on lies and lies told to him by his father. And that is what forces him to break away from that and go out into take his mother out into the real world, out into the infected zones to try and seek help for his mother. That's when we meet Ralph Fiennes. His character, he is a doctor, and when I seen movies or when I seen pictures of that guy beforehand, I thought, oh my God, this guy is an absolute maniac. He's a nomad. He's a barbarian. I thought it was really cool that this guy was now in this post apocalyptic virus movie. And before that, he was in Conclave, where he played a priest. It was like a Pope movie. So I just love the range that this guy has. But here is another thing as well. I do not think that Ralph Fiennes would have done this movie if he did not like the script, if he did not like where it's going. I'm sure you'll all agree with me that this guy is one of the best actors that we have. And he's one of the best actors that we have, and he doesn't do crap movies. So this may have been crap to you, or you may have not have liked this movie, but it is far from a bad movie. So I want to get to now The Infected, and this is where things get exciting for me in a way. So if you know beforehand, before the movie was released, they released a website, and the website was called rageleaks.net. And I done a YouTube video actually of this, of me going through it for the first time and trying to make sense of what was in there. And this is very important to 28 years later. It's very important. And I only really realized that today. I went down a serious rabbit hole, but what I found out, I've said it on a TikTok video, what I found out I haven't really heard people talking about. So here is what I found out. Hold on, I'll see if I can do this here with you guys, or while I'm talking to a camera and not trying to bore you. So let me see. Right, rageleaks.net, I do have it opened here already since this morning. So in rageleaks.net, we have 13 files. We have audio files, image files, and that's it. Most of them are images, but some of them are screenshots of chats that have taken place between scientists. And it's scientific, and I had no clue what it meant. So we're looking at the rage virus now. We are looking at the virus has been around for decades. We are looking in the progression and the evolution of this virus and what has happened to the infected, how they've survived, and how they have evolved, more importantly. So um, there was something that was obviously sent back and forth that we don't see, and that was scientific data of the infected known as an alpha. So when we hear the name alpha, we automatically think that this is the leader of the pack, the head honcho. This is the guy who calls the shots. And while that can still be thought of in this movie, it's wrong, and I found out that it was wrong. So basically, oh, 1 second. So this is, sorry, my dog started barking there. So yes, the alpha. This is, we are made to believe that they are called alphas because of they are hunting in packs and they are the leaders, and that is also correct. But here's what I found out today. So there's like emails going back and forth, and one of the emails is, are you sure the data that we're getting on this variant is accurate? Because none of our models allow for size and strength at such a scale. The cellular energy required would be off the charts, and I don't know how that would be sustainable. I've looked at it multiple times, and the only thing I could come up with that makes sense is that someone transposed the numbers. That's a lot more likely than sustaining the kJ intake a creature like this would feasibly require. So what I learned, kJ stands for kilojoules. And what I learned is that the data that they have received is just off the scale, and no one could survive this. But then I actually found out that there is a protein and a gene in people's, I don't know, DNA makeup. I don't know what they say there. There is a protein and a gene called alpha 28, and I found out that today, and I was like, holy shit, right? So we're made to believe that alpha is the leader of the pack. So I've got it here. The alpha 28 is, let me see, alpha, one of the subtypes, which are cytokines involved in the immune response, especially during viral infections, what we have, right? So in the later stages of infection, if you have this gene, then in terms of pathogenesis, later stages often involve immune dysregulation, chronic inflammation. So we know that we have your standard rage people, who chase after you, filled with rage. They cut you, you're infected. They throw up blood, you're infected. They bite you, you are infected, and you have your people that you're with have 10 or 20 seconds. They look at you, and if you don't turn within 20 seconds, you are okay. But then we have been introduced to these new forms. Another stage of this is chronic inflammation. So we get to see the other people who didn't have this gene, that are absolutely bloated, chronic inflammation. They can't walk, their skin's falling off. The only thing that they're good for is screaming. And yes, they're still very useful to the pack, because when they scream, that alerts the other infected to come at them, and there's people there to be killed or to infect. So the other thing as well is tissue damage, persistence or clearance of the pathogen, and altered cytokine profiles. So basically, this gene, the alpha 28, acts either as it'll leave you bloated and crawling on the ground, you become a bloated mess, or you become an absolute monster and sort of like you're pumped on steroids. I thought that was really, really clever, and how that sort of they played with that word alpha. And I am also absolutely delighted that I came across this today. And this wouldn't have been possible if it wasn't for RageLeaks.net, that little website that was released before the release of the movie. So I thought it was very, very clever. So that is why you call them alphas. They're not these smart things that control the packs. They are huge because they have got a gene that is within their DNA makeup that make them monsters. That's how that's their progression, their evolutions, that they become absolute monsters. They're hard to kill. They're just, you shoot arrows at them, they still come at you. So I thought that was really, really cool. So now we have, I think we sort of have to look now as at the infected as not, we probably need to stop calling them infected. These guys have been around for decades now. They're almost a new species. That's why I thought, a lot of the infected sort of looked like cavemen or something, prehistoric, prehistoric, like Neanderthals, or just cavemen that don't speak, don't they just want to rip things apart. They sort of reminded me a lot more on something at a very early stage of evolution, rather than something with a disease that wants to rip and tear you apart. And that's because they've been about for decades now. They've got used to it. This is part of their, what am I going to say? It's part of like the place that they live in, and they've been brought up here. They know no different, and these people have learned to sort of communicate with each other. They've learned to. I'm not going to spoil anything, but there's a couple of weird scenes in there where you're going to go, oh, how did that happen? But you have to, I think that is a good explanation for how the stuff does happen, is that these guys are like a new species, so they're acting like a new species. They're not acting like they're infected. They're acting like they are like, that is who they are. And they're progressing and evolving and mutating and I'm not going to spoil it. So that, hopefully, guys, that does explain a little bit there on the alphas and why a lot of people thought, yeah, oh, alpha, that's a crap name. It's a very, very clever name. So not only is it called alpha, it's called alpha 28, and that is the scientific term for that gene that is in their DNA makeup that only some of the infected have. But these infected are able to do a lot more than the little ones. These are like the kings of affected, maybe the queens as well. But I thought it's very, very clever. These guys are evolving in so many ways, and that, if you've seen the movie, is going to be explained a lot more in 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple, which, as far as I know, has been made already. So we're going to get it soon. It has also been confirmed that Jim is going to be returning for the second one. Danny Boyle has confirmed it, and I sort of called that a long time ago, where maybe I thought he would have appeared at the end of this one, but it's clever marketing, because whether he likes it or not, and he probably hates it, I'm sure he doesn't hate the bank balance, but Cillian Murphy is one of the biggest stars on the planet right now. He is a terrific actor, and I've been with Cillian since Disco Pigs, since like his first movies, Disco Pigs, Intermission, Breakfast at Pluto. The guy's a fantastic actor. He's got an incredible range, and it has been confirmed that he is going to appear at the end of The Bone Temple. It has also been confirmed, which may change in the next few days, because this movie is like doing financially well. It's doing good at the box office, but it's also been confirmed that the third movie isn't financed yet. So what do? You bring in Cillian Murphy at the end of the second movie. Everybody's going to lose their shit, and they're going to buy their tickets on their way out the door of that movie. They'll want to buy their tickets for the next one. So basically, by introducing Cillian Murphy, and not only by introducing Cillian Murphy, you're introducing us to a character who we loved, and a character who evolved himself so much in the first movie. If you remember, he started off this like scared young dude, and by the end of 28 Days Later, he was pushing eyeballs. So he became as rage infected, even though without the virus. He became animalistic. He became an absolute killing machine by the end of 28 Days Later. So I am so interested in finding out what Jim has been going through for all those years and where he's at now. And it just sounds great. So, guys, I think okay, I do want to touch on the ending a little bit. So, people were complaining about the ending, that it sort of just ended with the introduction of other characters. That brings me back to the start of the video, where everybody is handling the infection wrong. Or, no, sorry, they're handling the infection their own way. The only people that we know of so far is the people in that gated community, and pretty much we've seen everything through the eyes of a child. By the end of it, we're introduced to other people who have approached the rage apocalypse in a completely different way. It looks like they're having a hell of a lot of fun by tearing up the infected, and I'm like, okay, I'm ready to meet these guys. They looked absolutely ridiculous But so much so, I can't wait to see more about the characters that they're playing. Plus, that's Jack O'Connell, another phenomenal actor working today. I love the guy. Loved him ever since Eden Lake. But guys, that is everything I want to say about 28 years later. You may not have enjoyed it, but it's far from a bad film. If you cannot appreciate the film and the stuff, the hidden stuff in this film, then I don't know. Go back and watch the other movies on repeat or something. Um, Let me know if you did enjoy it or you didn't enjoy it, but just don't be telling me I didn't enjoy it. Please explain why you didn't enjoy it. And I'm hoping that maybe my explanation here of the alpha 28 gene in the blood was a little, answered a few questions on why these people became big, why they're able to do what they're doing. They are taking the infected now to new heights, and they're becoming an actual species now. So, guys, thank you very much for watching. Yeah, hit the subscribe button if you haven't, and I will talk to you all soon. Thanks.